everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi there, my name is Precious George. So guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you mistakes to avoid when planning a wedding. I mean, everybody's dream is to have a perfect wedding, right? In as much as there's nothing like a perfect wedding. But you know, we just have to do things to make our wedding be as perfect as possible, right? Close to perfect as possible. So guys, before we get right into the mistakes to avoid, I'm just going to tell you that I have a video on how to plan your wedding on a budget. That is how to have a budget-friendly wedding. The link will be up on the screen right now, and of course will be in the description box as well. So do well to watch the video immediately after watching this one, because trust me, when I say that video is loaded with lots and lots of tips to help you plan your wedding, okay? So yeah, let's get right into the mistakes to avoid when planning your wedding, okay? So I'm not going to be mentioning this in any particular order. You're just going to take it as it comes, okay? I'm excited doing this. Okay, yeah, let's get right into it. So the number one mistake to avoid when planning your wedding is do not agree with everything your partner says. I'm just going to repeat it. Do not agree with everything your partner says. I know it sounded like, say what? But that's the truth. Have your own opinion. Now, I mentioned this first because I was a victim. I was a victim of this when I planned my wedding. When I had my wedding, trust me, I was so guilty of this. I was like, anything my husband, then husband to be, says for the wedding, I'm like, okay, it's good with me. When it comes to the hall, decoration, cooking, drinks, guests, like everything, he always comes to me like, let us discuss, have a conversation, you know, make a decision. But I'm like, anything he chooses, I'm fine with it. Anything he chooses, because of movies that I watched. You know, these foreign movies where they're about to get married, and then you see, before you know it, they'll start having little misunderstanding, disagreements and things pertaining to the wedding, and then before you know it, they just get separated, and before you know it, they'll just be like, we just realized we are not meant for each other, and then they separate. So I was scared of that happening to me and to my husband. So I was like, okay, anything he says will be fine with me. We are not going to have any argument. We are not going to have any kind of misunderstanding. I'm just going to be the perfect fiance. You get? That was what I thought in my head. But you know, as a human being that I am, at some point I couldn't bear it anymore, because there are lots of things he will come to me about. I know I have an opinion. I know that in my head, I know that, okay, I have a better suggestion to some of the things he said. But because I just didn't want to counter whatever he said, I don't even want to say counter, so I do not look as though it's a bad thing. But because I didn't want to like give a different opinion from what he said, I'll be like, okay, I'm fine with this. But at some point I couldn't hold it in anymore. And trust me when I said, the day I decided to voice out, it was almost like war. But thanks be to God, my husband and I were able to, you know, minimize the situation, handle the situation, and found a way to meet ourselves in the middle. My husband himself was surprised, because he was like, I do come to you with all these things, and you're like, okay, this one you said is fine, this one you said is fine. So he didn't understand where all those anger came from. But because I'm a human being, I was just, you know, taking it in until the day I exploded. So the point of wedding is actually for the both parties, the groom, the bride to be, to meet themselves in the middle. I mean, you guys are two different human beings, whether you want to believe it or not. You are two different human beings with two different choices, two different life experiences, two different everything. The point is for you guys to decide together and meet yourselves in the middle, make compromises, say, okay, we'll use the decorator you brought, we'll use the caterer you brought. Do you understand? So don't just agree with everything your partner says in the name of trying to avoid conflict. Trust me, that conflict you're trying to avoid will catch up to you in a point where there might be no coming back. I was lucky because I was able to explode when there was still enough time. So we had to start making like rearrangement. Most of the people my husband had already booked, we had to drop them because they were not my choice. That doesn't mean that immediately I exploded, we now decided to do everything I wanted. No, we did some of the things he wanted and we did some of the things I wanted. That is meeting ourselves in the middle. And at the end of the day, I was happy when my wedding was going on, because if you swallow what you have to say, swallow your opinion, swallow your choice on that wedding, your wedding day you will not be excited, because lots of things that you're seeing will definitely not be what you wanted to be on your wedding day. Okay, I mean, that's even what marriage is about. The two different parties coming together as one, meeting yourself in the middle. It starts from your wedding plan. Don't even wait until you get into the main marriage. It starts from your wedding plan. Okay, so please do not agree with everything your partner says. Have your own opinion, say your own opinion, and find a way to meet yourselves in the middle. Okay, I hope you understood that the way I want you to understand it. Yeah, so the second mistake that you should avoid when planning a wedding, I know you guys will come for me, but deep down inside of you, you know it is the truth. So the point is, employ professionals, not family members and friends. I know you're like, say what? I shouldn't employ my family member, I shouldn't employ my friend. Yes, please don't. Employ professionals. See, let me explain before you start coming for me or before you start bouncing out. Let me explain myself, okay? When it comes to your wedding, see, in this lifetime, in your whole lifetime, I mean, that's our prayer, to have just one wedding. Nobody prays to get wedded, to get divorced, the next they have another wedding. I mean, the prayer and the point of wedding is to have it once, right? So it's a once in a lifetime, and you want it to be perfect. If and you want it to be perfect, okay? So your wedding is not a time to support family and friends. I know we are all for support your family members, support your friends. I'm also up for that. But it is not on your wedding day. I mean, you have birthdays to celebrate, you have lots of anniversaries, you have lots of celebrations to make in your life. Use the opportunity to support your family members and your friends, not your wedding day. Because trust me, it's always, most of the times, maybe not always, but in 90% situation, it always comes out bad. I mean, especially if that your family member or your friend is not a professional. I mean, if your family member, maybe your sister, your cousin, is a professional, is an expert, has been, you know, doing stuffs for people, maybe, like, let's use cake for example. Let's use cake as a point of talk right now. Let's say your family member is a professional in making cakes. She has made cakes for lots of people's wedding that you've been to, you've seen, you've experienced, like, you know that this your family member has lots of experience in making cake. Then please, by all means, employ her service, because I mean, she's your family member, but she's a professional. Not when the only cake she has ever made in her life is birthday cake, the cake that you put it in your house, maybe it's your father's birthday or your mother's birthday, and she'll make cake, and then you like, I want to support my sister so that people will see that she can make cake, and then it's your wedding cake. I wouldn't advise you to do that. I mean, you could have birthdays. If she doesn't do a good cake on this your birthday, you have the next year to celebrate a birthday, right? But you don't have the next time to celebrate a wedding. Wedding is just a day, and that is it. Even all these people that on their anniversaries they make it look like a wedding, it's still not your wedding day, it's just your anniversary. So if you know that your family member or that your friend is a professional, please, by all means, employ their services. But if they are just still trying to pick up pieces and all of that, still trying to make the baking or making a wedding dress their hobby, and I want to say, let them do your wedding dress, make your wedding dress for you, I wouldn't advise you to do that, because trust me, it will end up being a mistake that you cannot correct at the end of the day. And another thing is, if you know that your family member or that your friend is a professional, please pay them their money. Don't come and say, I am your sister, I am your friend, you're supposed to do the cake for me free. If they've been doing cakes free for people, they will not have a business. So if you want to really support your friend or your family member, and you know they are professionals, they're experts in what they do, please patronize them and pay them their money. Sometimes we are the ones that cause all these problems for ourselves, where you tell your family member, your friend, to make a cake for your wedding or make your wedding dress, and you're expecting them to do it free of charge for you, or you're expecting them to charge you give you 80% discount because you're related to them or because you know them. That's not done. They know that you're related to them and they told you this is the amount they want to collect from you. Pay them that money. If you know you don't want to pay them, then go to someone else. Don't go and start feeling entitled. Hey, you're my sister, you're my elder sister, you're my younger sister, you're my friend, I've known you for 10 years. You're supposed to do this stuff for me for free, unless the person offers to give you free of charge. If you know that you will not have the mind to give your family member or your friend that huge amount of money, then don't patronize them at all. Go to someone else. I mean, I don't even understand that kind of mindset. If it was a stranger, you'll be able to pay such thousands of money, but because it's your family member, your friend, you'll be looking like the money is too big. I mean, and then when you now give them small money and they now do small work for you, you now be like, hey, I will not patronize family and friends again, when it's your fault. So if your family member or your friend is a professional, please patronize them. That's the point I'm making. All I'm saying is, don't go and say you want to support your sister, your family member, your friend that is still doing small business, that has not done wedding cake before, that does not have it. Maybe she has not done wedding cake per se, but she has done lots of birthday cakes, lots of occasion cakes, and you've seen it and you like it. Then you can patronize her. Not when it's just all these house indoor cake that she has been making and you not tell her to do your wedding for you, to do your wedding cake for you. That's not right. It's a mistake. You're going to regret it. Take it from me, okay? Then if they are professionals, please pay them what they charge you, okay? Thank you so much. I mean, I've seen this thing cause problems for friends, family members, so I just had to point it out. So do not make that mistake, okay? If you don't want to pay them, then don't employ their services at all. Yeah, so the third mistake to avoid when planning your wedding is comparing your wedding with others. Now, if you've watched that other video I made a point like that there, but it's not exactly the same thing. So yeah, do watch the video after this one so you can understand what I'm saying, okay? So yeah, the mistake to avoid is comparing your wedding with others. Trust me, you will be tempted to do that, but don't. I mean, of course, when you're planning your wedding, you're meant to like watch other people's wedding videos, you know, use the memories of the weddings you've attended and all of that to know what you like and pick one or two things from their wedding. But don't come and say, this my friend or this particular person used this particular hall, so I'm going to use this hall in this particular hotel. At the end of the day, it might not even be what you want. It might not even be what you like. It might not even be what will give you that happiness. But because someone else used it, you now feel like you want to use it. See, on your wedding day, you'll be feeling like a stranger in that hall. I'm telling you this one, like I've seen it happen. It didn't happen to me because the hall I used was the one myself and my husband chose to use. But don't go and say, okay, this girl used this particular wedding dress or this guy used this particular suit. I mean, you could copy the style. I mean, that's that's what fashion is, right? You could see this style and say, okay, you like it, but let it be that you are copying that style because you like it, not because this particular person used it. Understand where I'm coming from? That you're saying, okay, I'll make this particular wedding dress for me because you like it, because you've imagined yourself inside of it. You see that it will fit your physique, it will fit your height, it will fit your kind of body stature and everything. Not because this particular person used it. On that your wedding day, you'll be feeling like a stranger inside your own wedding gown. You'll be feeling like it's another person that is wearing the wedding gown. So do not compare your wedding with other people's wedding, okay? Do what makes you happy, do what works for you, do what you and your partner can afford. I don't want to make this about finances because I've talked about it in the previous video, but at the same time, let me just hit a little bit of finance in this comparing. Let's take for instance, someone uses a hall in a 5-star hotel and you're like, we must use a hall in this particular 5-star hotel. You don't even know how much this particular person wants. You don't even know if someone even gifted them the hall and say, okay, I want to sponsor your hall just, you know, as my contribution. And then you're there killing yourself saying you must use that hall. You now use all the money you're supposed to use and do other wedding plans to stay in that hall, which might end up not even being your preference. I mean, the point is to be happy and comfortable on your wedding day. So the hall, when you're walking in, you're saying that, okay, this is what I like. You're enjoying it. You're comfortable in your wedding dress. The food cooked. You know that you're the one, you and your husband or you and your wife chose the caterer. You've tested the food. You're just feeling everything. See, the truth is, it is all those things on your wedding day that makes you happy on your wedding day. It's not even the fact that you're marrying your husband, you're marrying your partner. I know you're excited that you're marrying your partner, but I mean, you've known that you're going to marry this person for a while now. When you are planning the wedding, you already know this person is your husband. It's just for that date, for you to go to church and say, I do. All those happiness and smile and glow that you see on people's faces on their wedding day is because you're seeing lots of things that you want, all the things you've been imagining in your head. Some of us that used to have fantasy thoughts from when we are little girls, this is how we want, and you're seeing this is how we want our wedding to be, and you're seeing all of them happening. That is where the happiness, most of the happiness comes from. But when you go and start comparing your wedding with someone else's wedding and not do what other people did on their wedding day, you won't be happy. I mean, everything will just be like, okay, like, okay. That's not what we want, right? So yeah, do not make that mistake when planning your wedding, okay? So the fourth point, this one, this point is something that is not just for wedding, it's like in a life generally, but because we are talking about wedding, we are going to put the focus on wedding. One of the mistakes you should avoid when having or when planning your wedding is not having alternatives. That is, not having a plan B. Oh my god, are you sure you want to have a wedding? Are you sure you want to have a wedding? Hey, like, are you sure you want to have a wedding when you don't have alternatives, when you don't have options? You're just like, okay, this is the person that will make my wedding dress, and then that is it. This is the person that is going to cook our food, and that is it. My sister, my brother, see your wedding like this. Don't mind me, I mean, your wedding is definitely going to go well, but the thing is, have alternatives. Let me tell you something. As it is now, I have 2 reception dresses. Yeah, that's the truth. This one happens to me. I have 2 reception dresses, but it's not paining me. I didn't feel it. I had a happy wedding because I had alternatives. The person that was supposed to make my reception dress, the first person, the initial person I contacted to make my reception dress, disappointed me. But because I already had an alternative, it wasn't a struggle, it wasn't stress for me. Let me give you guys the story. I mean, that's what we are here for, right? So I met this particular lady. I mean, she was the one that made my trad dresses, so I was like, okay, why not make my reception dress? Okay, so I paid her even before the wedding. I mean, when I was paying her for the trad, I had already given her advance for the reception dress that she was going to make and all of that. But I don't know, I just felt like I needed to have options. I went to someone else. I went to her place and I told her that I would want her to make my reception dress. I gave her a date that my wedding will be holding and all of that. So I was like, okay, when I'm ready, I should come. I showed her the design I wanted though. That's this second person. I showed her the design I wanted, the style and everything with bargained price. So it was just for me to go either get the material and give her, or give her the money to go source the material. So, but we've settled the price and everything. So I left. I got material. I gave to the initial woman that I had arrangements with. Gave her advance for sewing and all of that. Hey, oh god. A week to my wedding, I called this woman, like, okay, I'm supposed to come and collect my clothes now, so I can test it, you know, if there's any amendments that needs to be made and all of that. This lady told me that she traveled, that she wasn't in town. You can imagine. And she traveled without telling me, that she forgot that she had someone's reception dress. I was like, what kind of, as in, forget how? So like, that she actually thought she not gave me one particular day, that was when she thought it was my wedding. So her plan was she would go and come back, and you know, those kind of stories. I was like, okay, oh yeah, you have sales girls now, let me go to the shop and pick the material. You get, like, at least let me pick it and go and give. She said no, that she locked her shop, and I actually went. Her shop was locked. A week to my wedding, like a week, oh god. A week to my wedding. You see how heartless some people can be. From her shop, I went directly to the other person that I had made arrangements with, and she was like, she's not collecting materials again, that she thought I was not coming. I had to keep convincing her, like, that I gave her excuses. Let me not even sugarcoat it. I had to lie to her that I have not been feeling fine all this while. That was why I have not come to give her the material and all that. I bought the material, but because I fell sick I couldn't come. So she was like, it's true, she understand, you know, wedding stress and all of that and all of that. So she had to like say, okay, I should go and get the material from her shop. I went straight into the market and I got the material that I wanted for my reception dress. Another material, of course, because that one is like locked up in the other woman's shop. So I went straight to the market, got the material. It was already late, so the next day and I went and gave her the clothes. So it was easy because we've already talked about it. You get the point? We've already talked about the price, everything. She already knows that, okay, this person is having a wedding, but I did not go and I went that time. So my wedding was on a Saturday. I gave her this clothes on Tuesday. I gave her this clothes on Tuesday because I went to her place on Monday, bought the materials and everything, then gave her the material on Tuesday. I collected my reception dress on Thursday morning. It was supposed to be Friday, but she now called me earlier that she won't be around on Thursday. She's going to dress somebody, blah blah, so I should come on Thursday. So she sold my reception dress within Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday morning, because she told me to come in the evening. Even in the evening when I went, she was just rounding up the dress and I tested it. She made some amendments and that was how I had the reception dress. So imagine I had no alternative. Which good fashion designer would you go to meet that will have time to sew your clothes for you within that space of time, if you guys have not like discussed about it beforehand? So I had to like include this here because I had the experience. It was after my wedding that this lady now called me that my reception dress is ready, I should come and pick it. I ended up not going anyways. It was my mom that went and paid the balance and collected the dress from her, and I've still not seen it. Like, I've not yet calmed myself down enough to see that dress. My mom is still with the dress. So not just in your wedding dress, when it comes to caterers, when it comes to event planners, when it comes to who make your cake, like everything about your wedding, always have alternatives. See, you don't need to give somebody money, just go and make it. That is why it is a good thing, which I talked about in my first video. Start your wedding plans on time. It will make you have the time to like meet different people, meet different people that are going to like render services for you on your wedding day, so that you can now say, okay, if this one doesn't work out, this one could work out. It might not even be in the point of disappointment, it might even be in the point of expenses. I mean, this other person might be charging so much and this other person might not be charging so much. You understand the point? So you can have options to choose from. Not just saying this is the person I want and it has to be this person. There's nothing wrong with it, but still have a plan B, if possible plan C. I mean, just so that the wedding will be done in a way that will make you happy and you will not be disappointed on your wedding day. Even in photographers, videographers, have alternatives, have options. Okay, yeah. So yeah, just have options. Okay. So the fifth point and the last point on our list today, to avoid a mistake to avoid when planning your wedding, is inviting everybody, having an unending guest list. Oh my god, you don't want to do that, trust me. I know you're like, hey, it's my wedding day, I'm wedding the love of my life, so I want my friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, blah and blah, to come and experience this day with me. But sis, you don't need to do that. I mean, you don't need to. Like, I don't know, but my own belief, even before I got married, like right from time, I was like, on the wedding day, the people that matters is the bride, the groom, and maybe the minister, and then parents. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you should have that kind of a small wedding, but I'm just saying you do not need to invite everybody. On my wedding day, before I invited my friends and my family members, it was my parents that invited them. I mean, my friends, I thought about the distances, like, did I just say distances? I thought about the distance. Like, if you're living in Lagos, I'm having my wedding now, but and I thought of it like, why would you like stress yourself to come all the way from Lagos just to come and see me say I do, and then you go back? I mean, it's expenses for you. That was my thought though. I don't know about you, but in my own, I felt like I didn't want to stress anybody. And aside from that, I mean, that's personal preference. You could decide to like invite as much people as you want. But the thing is, you really do not need, I don't even need to explain much about this one. I mean, it's like self-explanatory. You do not need to invite everybody for your wedding. Just have a guest list, a minimum guest list, and stick to it. I mean, it's better when, let's say, 100 people come for your wedding and everybody's like, oh, we are satisfied, we ate enough, we drank enough, we had souvenirs to go home with and all of that, than 300 or 500 people coming for your wedding and everybody's complaining the food was not enough, the food did not get to me, I did not get to drink even water. Some will say, they ate food without me. Like, everybody's complaining. So just have a moderate guest list, stick to your guest list. The thing is, most people you do not even invite for your wedding are going to come. I mean, how many weddings these days are done with strictly by invitation? None, right? Like, very few. So people you do not invite would come. So invite as less as possible. I'm not saying don't invite, like, I mean, draw a scale of preference. You know people that you want to be in your wedding, and you know people that you're just telling because you feel like you just want to tell them. Invite people that you know should be in your wedding, and then make space for the uninvited that will definitely come, so that the number of people that came or that will come for the wedding will be satisfied, will go home happy. I mean, celebrate with you very well, give you the gifts that they will bring, for people that are thoughtful enough to bring gifts. And just have your wedding, the hall or the field or wherever you're doing your wedding, be contented with the people in it, and not be overcrowded and overflooding with people that you don't even know when last you saw this person. I mean, you don't even know when last you guys talked. The only contact you guys had is that, okay, I want to tell this person that I'm having a wedding. So yeah, that's a mistake. Maybe not a serious mistake, but when it happens to you, you will know that it's a serious mistake. But yeah, I don't want it to happen to you. That is why I'm telling you now, so that you can avoid it. Okay? So yeah, these are the mistakes that I want you to avoid when planning your wedding, so that you can have a wedding that is close to being perfect. Okay, I mean, there's no such thing like a perfect wedding, like I said. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you learned something, and I do hope you enjoyed this video, because trust me, I enjoyed filming it. I'm so glad that I have done this. I've always wanted to, I mean. So yeah, if you know any mistakes one can make when planning a wedding, please let us know in the comment section. Your opinion, your suggestion would definitely help someone else out there. I mean, we are all here to learn. Okay, so don't hesitate, just drop your comments for us in the comment section. And yeah, do share this video to whomever you feel would enjoy it or would benefit watching from it. And of course, click the like button, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not yet subscribed. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you have a wonderful wedding, because I mean, I want to believe you have a wedding to plan, and that is why you're watching this video right now. So yeah, do have a wonderful wedding day and a blissful marriage. And of course, don't forget to watch the video in the description box. The link will just pop up on the screen right now, so as to have an idea on how to plan your wedding on a budget, how to have a budget-friendly wedding. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, thank you. Bye. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.